that it will be so that the powers will be transferred to whoever the electorate chooses in the new fair and square elections that will be safeguarded by fairness. This is the promise that I took upon myself before God and before the homeland, and I will keep this promise until we take the Egyptians to the safe side. I have also presented my own vision to come out of this crisis and to achieve what the people have called for and what the citizens have called for in respect of the Constitution, so that it will not be undermined, and in a sense that will achieve stability and achieve the demands of the people, but at the same time will also lay out some kind of framework for the smooth transition of the powers among all the sectors in the society and in all credibility and in all transparency. I have presented this vision, and I'm committed in order to get out of this difficult times and to keep up with by the hour also for all the people who are concerned about the Egyptian people and the country, so that we can transform this into some kind of reality in harmony and in consensus that will be implemented also by our armed forces. We have started a national dialogue, a constructive one, that brought together all the young people who called for this change and all the other political forces. And this dialogue has resulted in some kind of harmony in the views and the positions that will put our feet on the right track in order to get out of this crisis and to go on with this dialogue so that we can move on from the general guidelines of the agreement to some kind of a roadmap that is very clear and within a very specific timetable. Day after day, that will follow the track of peaceful transition until September. This dialogue, this national dialogue, has also come out with the formation of a committee that will study the amendments of the Constitution and what should be, and the amendment and the legislative amendments also. And we also formed another follow-up committee that will also be responsible for the implementation of the commitments that I have made upon myself to the people. And I am also very committed to form these two committees of some very well-known, well-reputed dignitaries and some jurisprudent people and some judicial figures. In addition to that, the fact that we lost some martyrs in some tragic events recently that have pained our hearts and that have also pained the conscience of the homeland. I have also instructed some people to start investigation and to get the results as soon as possible to the Attorney General so that he will take the appropriate procedures and legal measures and deterrent ones. I have also received the first report yesterday with the constitutional amendments that are of high priority given to me by the committee that I have formed by the legal people and to study these amendments. I have also responded to this report and to the proposals made in this report, and because I am the president delegated with certain powers, and in accordance with Article 89, I have also asked for the amendment of 6 provisions, Article 76, Article 77, Article 88, Article 93, and Article 189. in addition to the abolition of Article 179 from the Constitution, and also assure that I'm ready to amend many other provisions that the committee sees appropriate, depending on the need and the justification. And these amendments of high priority target the terms for presidency and the conditions for presidency, and to specify the terms of presidency in order to transfer powers, and also to supervise the elections in order to have a fair and square elections. And it also insists on the legal part in order to amend these conditions and amend the Constitution. But the proposal to abolish Article 179, I think, should also achieve equilibrium between the protection of the land of terrorism and to also respect the freedoms, the civil freedoms of all citizens, so that it can open up to stop the emergency law, the validity of emergency law, and to get the conditions in order to lift the emergency law. My dear citizens, the priority now is to restore the confidence among the Egyptians themselves and the confidence in our economy and our international reputation, and the confidence that the change that we have started will not be retracted. Egypt is going through difficult times right now, and we cannot do anything and cause damage to our economy and losses to our economy day after day. And this will cause to Egypt a lot of damage, and the people who have called for change will be the victims of these difficult times. These times is not about myself, and it's not about me, Hosni Mubarak, and but it is about Egypt in its presence and its for its future. All the Egyptians are in the same bunker right now, and we have to keep up with the dialogue that we started recently in one team, and not be different about it. And we have to be away from disputes, and so that we can get out of this current crisis, and so that we can restore confidence in our economy, and so that we can have safety for all the people and for the people in the streets, so that they can get on with their normal lives again. I have been, like you, a young man. And when I learned the military honor of Egypt and my allegiance to the homeland and sacrifice to the homeland, I have spent most of my life in defense of its sovereignty, and I have seen a lot of wars, and I have seen a lot of failures and a lot of victories. I have lived through difficult times, and I have lived during victories, and the happiest days of my life when I raised the Egyptian flag over Sinai, and I have confronted death in Addis Ababa and in many other locations and other places. I have never succumbed to any international pressure or dictations. I have preserved my dignity, and I have preserved the peace for Egypt, and I have worked hard for its renaissance, and I have never tried to have more authority, and I think that the majority of the people here know very well who Hosni Mubarak is, and I think it hurts my heart when I see and I hear from my own colleagues and my own people. But I know the junction that we are facing right now, but I am fully convinced that Egypt will pass these difficult times. But we are also we have also to take the higher interest of Egypt, and that Egypt should be the first priority for over any other considerations. I have delegated the vice president delegated the vice president to carry out a lot of powers, and I'm very aware that Egypt will come out of this crisis and will not break its will and the will of its people, and will rise on its feet again, and will stand up on its feet in all loyalty of its people, and will also get out of these difficult times. We Egyptians will prove our ability and capacity to respond to all the demands through dialogue, and we will prove that we are not servants to anyone and will not be dictated by anyone, and that no one will take the decisions for us except for the pulse of the streets and the demands of the people. We will prove that. And the determination, in the Egyptian determination, and in the coherence and unity of the people, and also in the reputation and the dignity and the identity and the unique identity of Egypt, because this identity is the essence of our existence for more than 7,000 years. This spirit will live in us as long as Egypt and the people of Egypt are still here. This spirit will live in us. It will live in every one of us, among the farmers and among the educated and cultured people. It will stay in the hearts of all the young people and the old people also, in the Copts, in the Muslims, in the consciences and the hearts of people who have not even been born yet. I am telling you again that I have lived for this homeland, and I am preserving its integrity, and Egypt will always remain, and the interest of Egypt will be above everyone else. It will keep on like that until I deliver this allegiance and the responsibility and the duties I have started from the beginning, and I will carry out until the end. This is the end where it will be my dear son that will not leave, and will also be buried here, and we will be always dignified people until the very end, and will raise our heads and will be always dignified. May God preserve Egypt and a safe haven, and may its people find the right path, and may peace be upon thee.
So there you just heard the president of Egypt, at least according to that translation. I did not hear him utter the words that I am stepping down. I don't know why these crowds seem to be very exuberant, because it would seem to be disappointing. He seemed to be suggesting he was staying in business, at least for the time being. He spoke about the scheduled elections. But Fred Pleitgen, you're on the scene at Tahrir Square. What do the folks there think he said?